Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Just before we begin today, may I simply say, it's just nice to be here with you. There's nothing more that we have to do or even say, except just to acknowledge each other, and to acknowledge each other as loving beings. And we're here to create loving things, to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy here on the planet. I just want you to know that I know that. I want us to share that, and to know that honoring and respecting each other is just the most important thing we can possibly do. Having said that, and before I begin the teaching today, we have several creative announcements to make. The first one is, you should have received in the mail your packet of spiritual guidelines. If you did not receive the packet, please go to our website and simply fill in the material, the information on Contact Us. Secondly, we're very happy to say that although we'll not be having our summer picnic in August, on the day before of that scheduled day, August the 15th, we will have a Zoom seminar entitled From Earthling to Cosmic Being. You'll receive all of that information tomorrow in an email. And then lastly, we're also very happy to announce that starting Sunday, August the 2nd, from 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. every month, we'll be having an open forum session where you can simply come and share your ideas, ask any question, and especially just to appreciate the presence of each other. All of those nice things are coming for us. With that in mind, let's begin this weekly teaching. While these teachings certainly continue to nourish us, it is your practice of these teachings that really inspires me. I am so moved by the goodness that so many of you are expressing that I can unequivocally state that we really are a wonderful group of souls bringing heaven to earth. A wonderful group of souls who are bringing awareness to our lovely planet. It is such a joy to behold. And just as unequivocally, I can truthfully say that we are only beginning to expand and to grow, just beginning to come into the fullness of what we are intended to be. In light of this growth, I am so pleased to present this week's teaching entitled, How to Release Your Drama. How to Release Your Drama. Last week's teaching on releasing your drama touched a very responsive chord in so many of you. I just could see it occurring. In a nutshell, I highlighted 10 bullet points of the dramas we have with others, and then 10 bullet points of our own internal dramas, those unsettling points within ourselves. The point of the teaching is summed up pretty well in the words of Jim Self and the Master Teachers when he said, and they said, you cannot take your baggage with you. You cannot grow in consciousness if you do not release your limiting, debilitating dramas. I know that you clearly understand this. You must release what is holding you back from your spiritual growth, which now I think you want more than anything else, which now I think you are ready to move forward in, which now I think it is your time to come forth, to release the dramas and to grow in awareness. And as I promised in last week's conclusion, today's teaching is on how to release your drama. How to release your drama. And please let me encourage you. If you follow the procedures, you will not just release your drama, but you will also incredibly expand your awareness and continue to be a blessing to the world and the people in your lives. First, what I'd like to do is to explain the theory of releasing your drama, the truth in a sense of what you need to know, and then proceed to the practice of releasing your dramas, releasing what is holding you back. You might want to take some notes. First, the theory, the understanding of releasing your drama. While there have been many great teachers truly in human history, I've always found the Buddha and Jesus to be at the top of the list. Let's begin first of all with the Buddha and then with Jesus. When the Buddha gave us his eightfold path, which is simply 8 steps to reach enlightenment, his first step always seemed to be the most important to me. His first step was, you must have right knowledge. You must have the right knowledge about who you are. Let me say it again. You must know who you are. If you don't know who you are and what you're capable of, you will struggle in vain. Isn't that the truth? If you don't know who you are, no matter how dedicated you are, you will be missing the boat. So what did the Buddha say that you are? The Buddha said 2 basic things. First of all, that you are an eternal soul, a forever being. And secondly, that you are, as an eternal soul, directly connected to the God Spirit. Let me just say this again. What the Buddha said is, well, you're an eternal being, and you're eternally connected to the God Spirit. You and the divine are one here and now. And now, unless you see yourself this way, unless you realize that you really are an eternal soul, if you don't see yourself in this way, you'll continue to simply see yourself as a limited human personality encapsulated in a body, and in this process, you are not seeing yourself accurately. And if you are not seeing yourself accurately, you will remain in the drama, in discomfort forever. You must have the right knowledge of who you are. 2 things are important for us here. First, whenever you pause, and you feel this sense of being an eternal soul and connected to the divine, doesn't that feel right? Doesn't that just feel so good? There's something within you that responds. Should this not be an indication that what feels right is right? What feels right is right for you. You, I, we are eternal souls connected to the God Spirit. Secondly, and very, very practically, one of our members recently stated that during the past few weeks he had begun to see himself as an eternal soul. And seeing himself this way has released so many of the worries that he was carrying with him. And now, in his words, the joy, the fun, and the light has returned back into his life. I believe that each one of us must make this very same shift in identity from seeing ourselves as that limited human personality into our eternal soulness. Nobody can do this for you. But in light of what is to follow, I know that you will not only make this shift, but you'll also be able to sustain it as we go forward. Now to Jesus' contribution in theory on how to see yourself. His advice for us today is twofold. The first one, Jesus said these very familiar words, "You are in the world, but not of the world." Let me be crystal clear. The part of you that is in the world is not who you are. just say it again, the part of you that is in the world is not who you are. The parts of you that are in the world are your body and your mind, your emotions, and our life circumstances. But they are not who you are. Who you are is, as the Buddha said, you are an eternal soul, eternally connected to the God Spirit. If you do not remember who you are as an eternal soul, you will inextricably be caught in the dramas of life. But, if you do remember who you are, you can be in the world without the dramas of the world. This is our movement forward. In Course in Miracles language, you can be above the battleground and yet participate in the creativity. Now, Jesus' second piece of advice. What I have done, you will do and more. It's nice to hear that, isn't it? What he has done, we will do and more. Now, here's the question. Why do you think he said this? In the clearest terms that I can say to you, Jesus said these words because what he had, you have. What he had, we have. And what did he say that you have? That he had? He had the eternal soul, his eternal soul, connected to the God Spirit. That's what he had. Oh, by the way, that's what you have. You are an eternal soul connected to the God Spirit. What Jesus had, we have. It's what the Buddha had. It's what everyone has. But most importantly, it's what you have. Your eternal soul connected to the God Spirit within you. This is the theory of overcoming the dramas in your life. But before I get into the practice of doing so, do you not again just feel how good this feels? This sense of being connected to a universal energy. Does not it feel so right within you? Please try to release the voices in your head, mother, father, teacher, preacher, everything that everyone else wants you to do and say. Please listen to the voice within your heart. You're a beloved child of God. You're a beloved member of the God Spirit. Now to the practice. First, let's focus on a very practical direction and then on the practice itself. First, a very, very, very practical question. How do you overcome your attachments to the world, your dramas? The answer? By becoming attached to something else that are not your dramas, but are your joys. Let's say it again. How do you overcome your attachments to the world, your dramas? The answer is by becoming attached to something else that are not your dramas, but are your joys. In a nutshell, if you focus on your eternal soul and let those dramas within yourself, your personality dramas, be released, then you will begin to experience all the joys that soul living will be able to inspire within you. Just very, very important. The best way to release the dramas are to be attached to the joys of the Spirit. I get it, Vince, I get it. But how do you detach from the dramas and attach to the joys? Here's how. Foremost, you must develop a daily spiritual practice of growing in the awareness. No two ways about it. You have to develop a daily spiritual practice to grow in the awareness. I sent you a packet during this past week. Did you read it? Did you read it and set it down? Did you read it, set it down, and perhaps mean to get to it sometime? Did you just set it down? Did you not read it? But more than anything else, have you read it? And will you practice these guidelines? Please do not tell me that you don't know how to release your dramas. You do know what to do, but you must daily implement your practice. 7 guidelines. You know what to do, but you must daily implement your practice. And you must first practice when it doesn't count, so that when you are facing dramas, you have the awareness, the spiritual build-up that will enable you to meet them from a different place. Not from your limited human personality, but rather from your eternal substance. Practice when it doesn't count. But here's the enormous point. Enormous point. What will work better for you? Do your dramas work better for you? Or does your daily spiritual practice work better for you? You just have to put it to the test. You are creating your reality. So what works better? Creating dramas from personality conflicts, or creating joys from your eternal soul spirit? Why would you want to keep on creating dramas when you can bring forth the joys? And I promise you that in your daily practice, it will become easier and easier because you will become happier and happier. But you must first begin by doing the work until it becomes your joy. What joy there is in living this way. And I just want you to know the joy it is for me to see so many of you living this way. Is there anything else, Vince? Yes. In fact, there are 2 things, 2 very practical things. The first one. When people begin working out their dramas, they have a tendency to focus on the drama and how they can change it. Now, be cautious. Don't get trapped in trying to determine how you can change your drama. You can't. What you resist will persist. You must allow the spirit within you to give you the alternative to your drama. You must take the time to go to the spirit and consult with your inner guidance. Allow your higher self, your inner guidance, to give you direction that you need. And then something marvelous begins to happen. As you start rooting out one drama after another, you begin to realize that rather than starting with the drama and going to the Spirit, why not just go to the Spirit for your guidance? And then something even more marvelous begins to happen. As you become accustomed to going directly to your Spirit, the other dramas fade away because you are no longer feeding them. Because you are now attached to the Spirit. When you stop feeding the dramas by feeding the Spirit within, the dramas have a tendency to fade away. And then the law of attraction takes over. What you focus on, namely the joys of the Spirit, increase because as you focus on those joys and that Spirit, the dramas fade away. I happily point this out to you as well as to myself. And now that second thing, we do grow better together. I encourage you to join one of our weekly study groups with Now Creations, or to be with another group of like-minded people. Our joint efforts are nourishing each other in ways that are so practical and beneficial. I am constantly amazed at how the comment from one person makes a difference in so many of us, and sometimes in all of us. We grow better together. A log out of the fire of oneness quickly burns out, while the fire continues to burn. It's the truth. In conclusion, I have tried to lay out for us, both in theory and in practice, how to release our dramas, and especially to become that loving, creating soul that each one of us is so capable of being. As you do this, you will realize that what you are doing is not just releasing your own stuff and creating your reality, but you're also assisting others in this very same way. What you are doing for yourself, you are doing for your family and friends, and also like to suggest you are doing it as a guidepost for the evolution of humanity and our planet. May you truly realize the joyful, joyful service you are providing to everyone. You and I, we are great lights in the world. And with that in mind, let me now take you into meditation. As we begin our meditation, let us just move into the pause, the feeling within ourselves. Just to know that we have this wonderful, wonderful place within us, the God Spirit. And let us allow that to become our sense of self. Let us now begin our meditation as we are wont to do by simply focusing on the breath. Just your natural breathing rhythm, allowing the breath to come in, allowing the breath to go out, never underestimating the importance of your breathing. And as you do so, Allow it to settle you. Settle your body, settle your mind, and bring your soul to the fore. Please begin. May I now ask you to notice something? Right at this moment, would you just notice how good you feel? Just notice not just feeling good, but feeling pure. Feeling whole. Just notice this. And would you notice how this purity and wholeness that you're feeling right now, would you notice how much bigger this feeling is than simply your personality self? Not that they're two separate entities, but your personality self is your personality self, your human vehicle, but your soul self is bigger. Would you just notice this? And are you beginning to notice that your soul self is more you than your personality self? Are you noticing that? Your soul self is that part of you that is in the world, but is not of the world. Are you not seeing that more clearly? May I suggest that you see your soul self as an observational point. It's an observer. And in addition to being an observer, it is also a guide. It observes and guides. Now focus on this before we proceed. You, in your soul self, observe and guide. Well, what does it observe and guide? You know the answer. It guides your personality self. When the personality self gets overheated, too reactive, it observes it. Drama coming, and it will guide you through it. And then when the personality is functioning at its best, your personality happily brings forth the joys of your soul spirit. Your personality follows the guidance of your soul spirit, creating good, beautiful, holy, heaven to earth. And then that law of attraction comes in as you focus on your goodness and your love. When you focus on the beauty of yourself, the joys increase. And the drama ceases to be fed. Do you not clearly see this? I know you do. I know you do. And may we pledge as best friends to help each other to rise. What a joy it is. Just what a joy it is to assist each other to grow in this wonderful spirit within us. What the Buddha had, what Jesus had, is what we have. This eternal, wonderful soul connected to the beauty of all creation. But most of all, we're connected to the beauty of each other. And we're pledging to assist each other as we move forward. What joy there is in this. What joy. It enables us to say, I am an eternal being of light and love. Thus, only good can come to me, and only good can come from me. And we are eternal beings of light and love. Thus, only good can come to us, and only good can come from us. Namaste, dear blessed ones. Namaste. What a joy to be with you.